County hates to prevail upon the church for the parking, so they've designated the trail or the village green with the town's consent to be the preferred parking area for the beginning of the trail. Along with that, then we want to provide a trailhead here to attract people to park here rather than park up and down the highway at various businesses. The Trailhead Plaza will provide a paved area, brick paved area for riders and walkers to assemble their parties, to gather information about the town, about the trail, about the businesses in the town, and about some of the other recreational opportunities that we have in the town. The plaza will include an ornamental metal fence around the area. It will include a covered or a covered kiosk that'll have 4 or 5 panels on it. Again, briefly, one panel to talk about the town and the history of the town, another panel to talk about the trail and some of the road crossings on the trail, a panel to talk about businesses in town and to show a location of where those businesses are along Indian Head Highway and which road crossing of the trail that they're off of, so that people can get to those businesses from the trail. And then a panel to talk about some of the other recreational opportunities that we have in the town. The project will also include a picnic pavilion and restroom facility on the village green to provide public restrooms for recreational users of the village green, so that there won't be conflicts between the recreational users of the green and the people that schedule a function here in the pavilion. In the picnic pavilion, they will provide a place for people to come up to town and have a picnic on the green, or for the bike riders or the trail users to, after they walk, to have a little bit of lunch or something, and then to use the public restrooms. We think that will increase traffic from the trail into the town of Indian Head and bring the trail users that are coming from other points along the trail into the town and learn about our businesses and hopefully sponsor some of our businesses, particularly the restaurants, and it will tell them about auto repair shops should they need that, or various other things. We're listing the Indian Head Pharmacy on the business panel of the town, the restaurants, the dollar stores, auto places, etc. ATMs, town hall, all that sort of public information that people might be interested in or might need occasionally when they're here in town. The second project is the connector trail from the village green to the Indian Head Rail Trail. Currently, the access for walkers and riders from the village green to get to the trail would be down Mattingly Avenue. As you well know, Mattingly Avenue for most of the length of Mattingly Avenue, doesn't have sidewalks on it. It's a fairly narrow road, a fair amount of traffic on it. And to get from Indian Head Highway to the trail, there's a sort of a blind curve there. If you're walking down the edge of the road, as you're walking, you can't see traffic coming at you, and the traffic coming at you can't see you. So we felt that it would provide a safer and more comfortable route if we routed the families with small children and the less experienced bike riders down Town Street and then through an currently unused right-of-way from East Mattingly to the Indian Head Rail Trail to get the family with children and less experienced bike riders from the village green to the Indian Head Rail Trail. It will be an 8-foot wide trail. There will be a crosswalk across the Indian Head Highway at the intersection of Town Street with Indian Head Highway. Then it will go down the right-hand lane of 10th Street. We plan to make 10th Street a one-way street in, off of Indian Head Avenue, into the Moose Lodge and into the town building down there at the end, into the park down there at the end, the Moose Lodge Park, and then one way out on East Mattingly Avenue. I've been down on 10th Street a couple of times, and when I try to exit 10th Street onto the highway, you're sitting on the downside of a pretty steep slope trying to look through radiators to see if there's any cars coming at you. And that's not a very easy thing to do, is look through a radiator. So getting out of 10th Street is sometimes a harrowing experience. So we thought we'd make it one way and then bring people out on East Mattingly to Mattingly Avenue. And at Mattingly Avenue, you have a much better visibility to get out onto the highway. We're going to raise the walkway along 10th Street up about 4 to 6 inches, the height of a curb, put a curb along it to separate it to separate the pedestrian and bicycle traffic from the vehicular traffic on 10th Street. Get down to Mattingly Avenue, it'll have to jog a little bit over to the right to line up with the right-of-way that goes over to the Indian Head Rail Trail. There's an old right-of-way that runs parallel to Mattingly Avenue, approximately 2 lots deep from Mattingly Avenue, that goes all the way down to Mattingly Park, that has never been used. It was never developed. We're going to use a piece of that right-of-way to get from East Mattingly over to the Indian Head Rail Trail. The connector trail will be paved with asphalt. It'll be 8 feet wide. And as we go through that unused right-of-way that is currently covered with trees and underbrush, we'll probably clear out the underbrush, but we're going to leave as many trees as we can. We're going to try and route the connector trail around whatever trees are along there. We need to put in a couple of culverts to preserve or continue the existing drainage through that area. So should be a good project, something good for the trail users to come off of the trail to get to the Village Green and to get from the Village Green to the trail. The connector trail project, the estimated cost is approximately $120,000. We got one $40,000 grant from the Maryland Bikeways Program, and we're anticipating a second $40,000 grant from the National Recreational Trails. That will leave the town then to put approximately $40,000 into the project. We plan to do most of that with in-kind services of our administrative staff, but most of it from our Public Works Department to do some of the grading, do some of the drainage work, and to do some of the seeding work after the paving is done. The county will be contributing a little bit to the project also in the form of a culvert along the drainage swale beside the Indian Head Rail Trail, where we make the connection to the trail, and then we'll probably swap with them. If they provide us some gravel for the base material of the paving, we'll have our contractor pave that last little stretch over to the trail. The cost for the Trailhead Plaza and picnic shelter is approximately $250,000. We've gotten a $90,000 grant from the Maryland Heritage Areas Authority. The EDC is working on a fundraiser for another $60,000. That will leave us then with about $100,000. We have those funds available in our Parks Fund right now. So we have enough funds to cover both of these projects. Are there any questions? Yes, Warren?
I don't know if you've given any thought to this or the fundraiser, but Mayor and I were on the trail a couple weeks ago. He was down in New York. It's not the first time that I noticed, but he paid particular attention to the benches that are along the trail and has in memory of or somebody's name. Have you given any thought to maybe having that up in the plaza or somewhere else? I called Tom Rowland from the county, and he said that most of all of these spots, 36 benches, have been placed along the trail. So I would just throw that out as a suggestion.
That's one of the things that EDC is thinking about is memorial benches in the plaza, or potentially some memorial bricks or pavers in the paving. Somebody was telling us at the EDC meeting that yes, in fact, all of the benches are spoken for along the trail, but that Tom Rowland still has a list of additional donors, so they might be willing to sponsor a bench at the plaza. You know, the plaza area will also include a public water fountain for people that are getting ready to go on the trail or coming off of the trail to get some water, to quench their thirst. If they're going on the trail to fill up their water bottles, or if they're coming off then to replenish their water supply. Seeing no other questions, then we'll move on with the program. Next on the program is presentations, recognitions, resolutions, ordinances, etc. Tonight we have Captain Netta, Peter Netta, from the commanding officer of the Naval Support Activity South Potomac, wants to make a couple of presentations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the town council for allowing me a few minutes of your time. I wanted to formally recognize on behalf of the Navy, the command at installation, that whenever we come here, whether it's a joint or singularly on some of your events, but some of the volunteers, the citizen volunteers that the town provides. And with that, I'd like to call up a few individuals and present them with a command coin and just a token of our appreciation. Will Donald Willett please come up? Margaret Champagne. Janet Fogel. Brenda Hayes. Ruby Hayes. Bunny Schuyler. Karen Williams. And the two individuals that aren't here tonight would be Margaret Johnson and Patsy Cornell. It's a coin from the command, Naval Support Activity South Potomac, and it's from me to you. Thank you for your community service. Thank you. Maybe you don't have them yet. Or maybe you do. Good.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
You can't spend it anywhere. That 250 will buy you.
I certainly will.
Yeah, that's what I get the auctioneer.
Thank you.
Now the question is that the kind of coin that you go to a bar and if you have the highest ranking?
I think you're supposed to, in my previous life, you're supposed to keep one on, and if you see somebody in, for your fellow squadron mate and things like that, then if you don't have it on you, then you buy it.
Thank you, Captain. So we have no resolutions, ordinances, or petitions, no unfinished business, no new business. So we'll move into miscellaneous. I'll read the announcement of upcoming meetings, and then we open the floor for citizens' comments. Upcoming meetings, some of these are duplicate the announcements that Karen made, but we'll go through them again. Village Green Flea Market on Saturdays, May through October, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the Village Green. It was closed on September 1st, as you probably know, and it will be closed again on September 29th. Oxon Hill Trail and Bicycle Club Annual Century Ride will take place on Sunday, September 9th, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the Village Green Park. The 6th annual Town of Indian Head Car Show will also take place on Sunday, September 9th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Village Green Park. Community Activities Committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 11th at 7 p.m. here in the Village Green Pavilion. Planning Commission meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. here in the Village Green Pavilion. I missed one. The Indian Head Business Association meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 12th at 8:30 a.m. at Dale's Smokehouse. The Economic Development Commission meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 19th at 7 p.m. here in the Village Green Pavilion. Town Council work session will be held on Monday, September 24th at 1 p.m. in the Town Hall. And the next town meeting will be held on Monday, October 1st at 7:30 p.m. here in the Village Green Pavilion. There will also be a Southern Maryland Municipal Association meeting held tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. in Leonardtown. With that, I'll open up the floor for anybody who wants to make a comment or to address the town council at the meeting tonight.
James, get up here too. James, I know, but I want to make sure James is in line. Get up here.
Okay, good evening, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Kelly. I work for Charles County Department of Community Services, Parks and Rec basically, but the Recreation Division. I just want to tell you the programs that we're offering this fall. Our guide does come out tomorrow. You can find that online at charlescountyparks.com, or most likely if you get the Maryland Independent, it will show up in your paper tomorrow. Some of the programs, I run the Smallwood Community Center just down the street here, and also Matthew Henson and Bryan's Road. I just want to let you know some programs that we're offering coming up. Our first one's called Start Smart. It's a multi-sport sports developmental program for kids aged 3 to 5. That costs us $40. That will be held at Henson starting Thursday, September 20th for 6 weeks from 6 p.m. until 7 p.m. Again, that's at Henson and Bryan's Road. A class at Smallwood Community Center right here is crock pot cooking. That one starts on Thursday, September 13th. That's a one-night class from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. Cost is $10, and you will take a meal home with you. But the instructor teaches you how to cook from a crock pot. Basically make 20 meals, prepare them, freeze them, just pop them out, throw them in your crock pot. We also offering a coupon class coming up. 3 of them actually. This is at Smallwood. The cost is $5 for each class. The first one's Couponing 101, basic couponing class.